Thought creates reality. There are very few other rules. To some degree or another, the hologram analogy that people have used is almost true. It is a little bit like we are here just having an experience, just experiencing things in a very real way from a certain perspective. Things don't matter all that much as we think that they do. And yet we are not just thinking beings, we are also feeling beings. Our thoughts, our feelings create reality. I experienced this firsthand. I've experienced it in many wonderful ways. When I first started to have a spiritual awakening, I realized that money came to me exceptionally easily. It was just something I realized is something I loved, something I enjoyed, something that made me very happy. And it just had this way of doing it. It's a beautiful thing. And a great number of things happened that helped me to realize that thought creates reality. Now, interestingly, we are all feeling beings. We are all empathetic beings. We can feel other energies around us. At one point, I had gone to my mom's house, where my mom and my brother were staying, to work on a project to build out a van or a truck. And things had gotten so bad that at one point or another, I was so upset with my mom. And my mom had told me about one of her worst fears, and I had said, I had thought to myself, you're pushing away your only son that would have taken care of you. You're going to end up just like you fear, and it's going to end up killing you. And then basically what happened, not exactly, it happened a little different than that. But it was certainly a low vibration, certainly a dark energy, something that I don't want anything more to do with in my life, and something that we all try to avoid. But it was certainly a low point, and it made me quite distraught for a very long time to think about that, and to think about that my thought somehow had contributed to that. I had actually gone there with the intent of trying to help my mom, maybe even trying to help my brother, at the very least being cheery, bringing good energy in, and having a nice thing before I went on my way. And that was my hope. That was my desire. This is not what happened. There were other forces at play that frankly were a little bit beyond my understanding. Some of them just the energy of my brother. My brother was not doing very well at that time, and I think there may have been other energy that was just affecting him. Who he is as a person is far better than the low vibrations that were affecting him. As a matter of fact, everybody who everyone is as a person is better than all of the low vibrations that can affect anyone on Earth in different times, in different situations. And it's one of the reasons, having had so many experiences with this, is one of the reasons that it reminds you of the importance of forgiveness, and it's one of the reasons that it is so easy to forgive and so easy to just let go for yourself and for others, and just kind of understand that everybody is going through their own thing, is in their own place, is doing their own whatever. And the tough thing about it, you do have to kind of move on, and not you have to do whatever you have to do. Put it this way, you have to do whatever you do to not let these things get to you. You can do your best to not be around these lower vibrations to one degree or another. They're always, there's just difficult stuff around the earth in all sorts of different places. You know, the planet itself, has gone through the Lemurian, the Atlantean cataclysm, and those are just the two that we know about. Okay, there's been all sorts of changes all throughout history, and all sorts of problems, and all sorts of things, and it's been a very tough and difficult time for everybody, really. Everything has been, just tough and difficult because everybody can feel that because there is no space or time. So all of this stuff is, the different events throughout time, they all are, sort of exist in different spaces, and you go to different spaces and you can feel different things. And, it's very, very tough, and you have to really just sort of recognize and hold on to your own energy, your own inner light, your own inner love, the loving being that you are, and that will carry you through a lot of different situations, that will carry you through just dealing with a lot of different people, and will make everything easier for you as you go. And to one degree or another, being just by being a enlightened inner light, your inner love, by being that inner light person, most everything that you deal with, and different people around the world, and everything else, you're going to have an easier time with it. It's a wonderful approach and a wonderful way to go through things. And the big thing I think to realize is if something gets you down or bothers you, to just take some time and sit with yourself and remember to forgive and let go. And and maybe that person's just going through a hard time themselves. Everybody is dealing with problems and situations and everything else, and they have their own things going on. And it's tough to know what any of that is, or why any of it is, or anything else. Again, there are people that are, that are in places that are just plagued by bad energy that used to exist in that space. And we can do energetic clearings, and we can do this, and we can do that. But to one degree or another, the best thing that you can do is to hold on to yourself as an individual, and to sort of retain and hold on to your own inner light as an individual, because that is it's just one of the things that we all have to do. Like I say again, there is no space or time, and so there's ways of calling in good energy to clear out old bad energy. It's just as simple as what I just said. You can call in good energy to clear out old bad energy, and you can have that be something that happens that doesn't affect you as an individual. You don't have to physically do that, because there's infinite energy around everywhere, so all these things can be done for you. Okay, and that's a wonderful thing to do. But probably the best defense is just your own personal inner light, your own personal inner love, your own personal inner vibration. Everybody kind of is their own unique person, their own unique vibration, and there's all sorts of other vibrations around, but we don't need to absorb them. We don't need to be one with them or anything else. Everybody can feel these things, but you don't need to take those things in. Those things, are not a part of you. Those are other people's vibrations. If there are, good vibrations that you see, and you say, oh yeah, everybody learns different things and picks up on different things, and can, can gain things that way, and can learn and can grow that way. But that very same process, you can't let that allow bad energy in. You just need to just hold on to yourself, hold on to your own inner light and who you truly are, and the rest of it kind of just falls away.